Now, one last thing I want to talk about is flow states. Man, I am fascinated with triggering flow states. And you can trigger a flow state at will. At will. And there's 4 simple steps to do it, okay? So, who knows what flow state is, right? What is it? Anybody? Flow? Being in the zone? You ever watch a basketball team and they're just crushing the other team and they just can't seem to miss the three-pointers? Would you say that, who's your favorite three-point shot? Curry? Can Curry get in the flow and just start draining? I mean, it doesn't even go in the basket. It goes ding, and hits the ground. You're like, and then he does it like 60 times, like in a row. And you're like, are you serious? Do you think that the Curry's in flow? What Curry knows how to do, and what other professional athletes know how to do, and what actors know how to do, and what performers and speakers all know how to do is they know how to trigger flow state. And there's 4 stages of flow state. Number 1 is the struggle. The struggle is the initial step in generating flow state. That's when you are cramming information into your mind. It's going into your prefrontal cortex, which is limited and slow, but it's going in there and you're cramming it in. Now, here's the deal. You've got to study, you've got to write, you've got to prepare, you've got to rehearse, you've got to be ready for the things that you want to execute in a flow state. But once you've done the struggle, then the second stage, and this is key, is called the release. And the release is where you step away. And you step away from the entire thing. Go garden. Go cook. Go row a boat. Go do something that relaxes you. Something meditative. Get away from it, right? I prepared for this presentation. So I'm telling you, I had the struggle. I had to read. I had to study. I had to get all the information on my mind. I had to prepare my presentation. I had to rehearse my presentation. But when I was done with it, guess what I did? Stepped away. I didn't practice it when I got here. I just stepped away. I allowed myself to naturally step into flow. What happens is the prefrontal cortex, the information transfers back into your subcortex, which is your subconscious mind, where the processing speed is highly efficient and high-powered. And it starts reorganizing the information, getting it ready for delivery so that when you kick into what's called flow state, and that happens when you are stepping in to the challenge. And when you walk into the challenge, you'll feel it. Anybody's hands ever start sweating when you're getting ready to do something that, again, kind of makes you a little nervous and you're uncomfortable? That's called adrenaline. That's all it is. It's a biochemical reaction, adrenaline coming out of your hands. Okay? Then you feel the cortisol kick. It like hits your arm and you can kind of feel it going through your body and coursing. Okay? It feels like a drug almost, kind of in a way, right? That is your body's natural reaction getting you ready to perform at a very high level. But you have to recognize it. Then you step in front of the audience or you step into the basketball game or whatever it is that you're executing, and all of a sudden you just trigger flow state, you're just hitting everything, you're doing it all in automation, and then when you're done, you go to what's called recovery. And what happened was you just triggered all these feel-good hormones. Matter of fact, this is what happens when the cortisol kicks. It releases nitric oxide into the blood system first, gets it rid of all the stress hormones, the adrenaline starts pumping, the cortisol hits your body. That's what all those feelings are. And if you know that that's what they are, then you won't run from them. You'll embrace them. The difference with people that are successful between the people that are not successful is successful people have gotten an appetite for engaging that experience. They welcome it and they want it. And you have to learn how to engage that biochemical reaction that's taking place so you can become more effective and more proficient. Now, once you're done and you've been through flow, you're in recovery. Okay, now Katrina and Mel and Simeon will know exactly what I'm talking about. You just drained your entire body of all of your dopamine. You're completely exhausted. All you need is food and sleep. Okay? But if you want to get good at triggering flow, you got to get good at 2 things, the struggle and the recovery. When you get struggle and recovery down, because look at, man, the release, that's the subconscious mind. It's going to do it on its own. Okay? The actual flow state, that's just you recognizing what's happening and embracing it. But the recovery and the struggle, that's the work. When you figure that out, you will crack the code. You're where you need to be. I'm going to finish with this. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Think about those words. That's pretty powerful, wouldn't you agree? Guys, this is my book, The Relevance Gap. It's available on Amazon. It's in. There's an ebook. There's a paperback. It's $17.95 for the paperback. It's $9.95 for the ebook. Get a copy of it. If you've already got a copy of it, many of you got them yesterday, please write reviews for me. I would highly, highly, highly appreciate that. You all have as a gift just a simple bookmark, okay? Make this your next read. And on the back is all my social media contacts. Please connect with me on all of those contacts. We look forward to seeing you guys in the future. I've been enjoying being here in Chicago, and I will turn it back over to Miss Ferguson.
Awesome. Give it up for Mr. Scantlin.